as we start at the very beginning, because we know that that's the right place to start, not jumping into the activity of God, but finding out who God is through his intention. Or perhaps as we think of putting the first button in the buttonhole so that everything else follows. Today we turn to the book of Revelation and chapter 4. And in this chapter, through our beloved brother John, we end the chapter by reading these words. You are worthy, O Lord and God, to receive glory and honour and power, for you created all things, and by your will they were created, and they have their being. So worship in heaven is in some particular way related to the pouring out of devotion to the Creator. You created all things. Now, why did God create? Again, we have to remind ourselves that it is important to maintain the distance between God in himself, the Creator, and we, the pinnacle of his creation and all creation. There is a great gulf that is necessary to not make God so like us in every way that we minimize God. So we know God has no needs. We know that God is perfect in himself. So why then did he choose to create? And the scripture takes us down a path which is God did not create out of need, but he created for his pleasure, he created for his glory. And what was this creation to do? Well, it was in that sense, and I'll put this in inverted commas, to show off, to be a demonstration of his power, of his wisdom, and yes, to see that everything created is to reflect back to the Creator and be linked into the Creator. And if at any time there's a disconnect in there, everything else will fall apart. So let's look at this today. What does creation show us about God? Number one, God is all-powerful. You try creating. The story is told of an atheist walking with a Christian and saying God doesn't exist. And the Christian bends down, takes some dust on the walk, blows and says, this is how God created humanity. The atheist bends down to get his dust and says, this is just dust. But as that dust is picked up, the Christian says to the atheist, hang on, get your own dust. Where did that come from? So yes, this is a demonstration. Creation, the world itself, the universe, all that is to show us. And it is there to declare the power of God. God is all wise. God is all skillful. God has placed his creation out before him for his purpose. And so today, before we jump to men and women, praise to the Lord, the Almighty, the King of creation. So wrote the hymn writer in the 17th century. May that hymn writer's praise be ours. God is King of creation.